I used to live next door to a bar, and I hated it. Thankfully, it wasn't like right next door. There was a line of trees that went all the way around the bar, so I did have some privacy. However, from my driveway, if I looked just right, I could literally see the side of the bar, and that's where everyone would go outside and smoke. Most of the time, it wasn't that bad. It was only horrible on the weekends, or if the local sports team was playing, which seemed like every other day sometimes. I should also say that at the time of this story, I was working retail. That means I worked most weekends, so they would be partying it up at the bar being loud, and I was trying to sleep. It was a great time. Out of all the annoying nights I dealt with, and there were many, one night specifically still sticks with me, and is probably something that will haunt me for the rest of my life. It was a Saturday night, and my best friend Layla was coming over. She's like a sister to me. We've been friends since elementary school, and still are to this day. Around the time of this story, Layla was working hard trying to set me up with anybody. This was kind of before all the dating apps became popular. The apps would have really helped me break the ice. I'm an incredibly awkward person. I've had a hard time interacting with strangers. The thought of going up to a random woman and asking her out seemed more terrifying than the scariest horror movie you could think of. I'm a massive dork, and I love that about myself. I love my comic books, my collectibles, and more than anything, just relaxing at home. It's kind of hard to meet people when being a homebody is the main part of my identity. That's why Layla was trying to be the ultimate wingman. It wasn't going well, though. I had a few dates, but nothing struck. So, on this specific night, Layla came over for dinner and to hang out for a while until her girlfriend got out of work. We had a great night. She gave me some of her classic Layla dating tips to try out next time I go on a date. Around 10 that night, her girlfriend called her and told her she was leaving work. I walked Layla to her car and said goodbye. As I watched her drive away, I heard loud noises coming from the bar. I glanced over and saw a group of maybe 7 or 8 girls. They were clearly drinking and feeling good. They were laughing and talking loudly. I could clearly hear every word one of the girls was saying to her friend. I shook my head, and just as I was getting ready to turn around and walk back inside, I noticed one of the girls looking in my direction. I looked around to see if she could have maybe been staring at someone else, but it clearly looked like she was staring at me. I didn't react because I still wasn't sure if she was looking at me or something else. All the women outside started to head back into the bar, but this woman stayed back a little bit. It was like she wasn't with the group of girls, even though she was standing with them. Then she waved. She had to have been waving at me. There was literally no one else around. I didn't wave back at first. Then she started waving more aggressively. I hesitantly waved back, and she reacted by blowing a kiss in my direction. All I did was smile and go inside. Clearly, it was just a woman at the bar who may have had one too many drinks. After the weird interaction outside, I went in and started playing video games since I had a weekend off for once. I couldn't think of a better way to spend the evening. Around 1:30 that morning, I heard a knock on the door. I paused the game I was playing. I heard the gentle knock again. I wasn't that freaked out because of the close proximity to the bar. I've had people show up at my doorstep before. Some people in this town really like to party. I was used to weird things like this happening. Just in case it was something serious, I got up and looked out the small window next to the front door. Nobody was standing there. At that moment, it pretty much confirmed that it was just someone from the bar being an idiot. My heart was racing a little bit, just because hearing a knock at the door at that hour is always a little jarring. I didn't get back on my game right away. I was sitting in my front room, reading something on my laptop. I would say maybe 15 minutes had passed since I heard the knock, and I got up to look out the window one more time, just to confirm nobody was outside. When I looked out the window, I didn't see anybody, but I did notice that the light inside my car was on. When I focused a little harder, I could also see that my driver's side door was slightly open. Again, I wasn't that scared. I was angrier than anything else. It wouldn't be the first time that someone from the bar tried to break into my car and steal something. The joke was on them because I didn't keep anything valuable in my car. The last time this happened, the light inside my car was on all night, and my battery died the next morning. I didn't want that to happen again. I unlocked the front door, went outside, and made my way to my car. I looked in the back seat just to make sure nobody was camping out back there. Once I realized nobody was in the car, I locked it and headed back inside. Once I got inside and locked the door, I realized I could smell something. It was like a lavender perfume or something. It could have been Layla, but she isn't the perfume type, and I don't think the smell would have lingered that long. My thought was that whoever accidentally knocked on the door was probably wearing too much perfume and the smell was still lingering on the front porch. I finished what I was doing on the computer, shut down my video game, and decided to finally head to bed. I still felt a little anxious about everything that happened, but I wasn't scared. I put on a movie in bed and tried to drift off. I don't know exactly how much time had passed until I heard something. I turned the movie off so I could hear better. I thought I could hear someone running around the house outside my room. It sounded like light, delicate footsteps, but they were moving rapidly. I moved closer to the door to listen. I heard the sound of giggling. It was a soft, feminine giggle. When I heard the giggling and unmistakable sounds of running around, I completely shut my cracked bedroom door and called the police. I told them that someone broke into my house, most likely somebody from the bar next door. While I was waiting for the police, every minute felt like an hour. Eventually, I didn't hear the running around anymore. I quietly got up and left the bedroom. I grabbed one of my dad's golf clubs from my closet and started slowly walking through the house. When I got to the kitchen, I froze completely. Just standing in my kitchen was a small blonde woman staring out the window. She was wearing an old-looking, tattered pink dress. Then it hit me. This was the woman from the bar who waved at me earlier that night. Before I could even react, she said while still looking out the window, "Hey buddy, I know you're there." Then she snapped around quickly and stared directly at me. Then she started to run at me. I ran to the bathroom, shut the door, and locked it. She kept knocking on the bathroom door, begging me to open it. It wasn't long after this that the police showed up. They were inside the house and knocking on the door. I opened the door and only saw the officers inside the house. I looked down, and right outside the bathroom was one of my steak knives from the kitchen. After leaving the bathroom, we noticed that the back door was also left open. We figured that she must have run out the back door. The next day, we went to the bar and asked them if they remembered anybody who fit that description, and the owner knew right away. He told us that she was dirty and apparently bothering the guests. Eventually, he had to throw her out of the bar. She was lingering outside for a while, but once he threatened to call the police, she disappeared. After that night, I never saw her again, thank God. I don't know why she targeted me. Maybe she was just crazy and homeless. Maybe she was on drugs. I spent a while trying to figure out how she got into the house. The only time I could think of is when I went outside to shut my car door. She had to have been hiding somewhere near the door and ran inside when I wasn't looking. I'll never forget that night. Thankfully,